understood there was an incident that had transpired, and I wanted to know whether he was involved, and if he was, I wanted to make sure he's part of any player who comes into our system, I consider part of our extended family, and I wanted to get him help.
Okay. So as a result of, did you say this to the defendant?
Yes.
And what did he say when you had asked him whether he was involved in this matter?
He said he was not involved, that he was innocent, and that he hoped that the time of the murder incident came out because I believe he said he was in a club.
A surprise witness in the Aaron Hernandez trial. That was New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, brought to the witness stand by the prosecution as the state nears the ends of its case against Aaron Hernandez. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Costello in New York. Hernandez, a former New England Patriots star tight end, is charged with murder in the 2013 death of Odin Lloyd. ABC's Aaron Kurtersky is joining us now with more on this. Aaron, fascinating to see Robert Kraft on the stand today. What was the prosecution trying to prove bringing him up as a witness?
Well, I think it was his statement where he said that Aaron Hernandez told him that he was in a club the night of Odin Lloyd's murder back in June of 2013. The prosecution has established through other testimony that Aaron Hernandez was not in a nightclub the night of Odin Lloyd's murder, and they've tried to use cell phone records and other evidence to prove that he was in fact at the location, or at least his phone was, when Odin Lloyd was murdered in Attleboro, Massachusetts on June 18, 2013. And so the appearance of Robert Kraft seemed to be for the prosecution to try to catch Aaron Hernandez in a lie.
Okay, and so if Hernandez told Kraft he was in the club and it had been proven in court Hernandez was not in fact there, how damaging is this really for the defense?
Well, it's hard to know if any one piece is going to be damaging, but the prosecution thinks that the jury could certainly be influenced by somebody of Robert Kraft's stature. He is the owner of the New England Patriots, the Super Bowl winning New England Patriots, an important figure in the community. And even for Aaron Hernandez, you could tell when his name was called and when Kraft in his suit and bright tie walked into the courtroom, Aaron Hernandez turned to watch his former boss, someone that Kraft said used to hug him and kiss him by way of greeting, entered that courtroom and made his way to the witness stand. So a larger-than-life figure like this, the prosecution may figure, is unimpeachable in the eyes of the jury.
You mentioned that hugging and kissing as a common greeting between the two. Kraft also kept referring to Hernandez as a very good player, that he had signed him to a big contract because he was a very good player. Was the prosecution hinting at Kraft having a motive to protect Hernandez from legal trouble with all that?
I think the defense tried to get him to say very much the same thing, to understand that Aaron Hernandez was a good guy, as the defense may want the jury to see it, was somebody who had a good reason to stay on the up and up because he had a big contract and because he was making a lot of money and doing well on the football field, and how then they would like the jury to conclude could even consider murdering somebody that he considered to be an acquaintance. But it's hard to know whether Robert Kraft's testimony is going to help, hurt. Remember, there's still no smoking gun here, Carolyn. There is no actual murder weapon. And so the best thing that the prosecution can do is try and get the jury to see it their way, that we've showed you that the cell phone records put Aaron Hernandez one place, and yet he told his boss, the guy who gave him the big contract on whom everything is riding, he told his boss something else entirely.
Okay, and to that point, late yesterday we had another twist. Hernandez's fiance testifying that she got rid of that all-important box in the garage at Hernandez's request, but she said it smelled skunky, connecting that smell to marijuana. So does this give her a plausible reason for disposing of the box, and does it undercut the prosecution's suggestion that the box contained crucial evidence, perhaps the gun?
And that's what prosecutors believe, is that in that box there was the murder weapon. And under cross-examination, Shayanna Jenkins did seem to indicate that she thought there was marijuana in the box. Although under direct examination, when prosecutors asked, hey, what was in the box? She said, well, I don't know. And Hernandez never really discussed it with her. And so it seems like it may give her a convenient excuse, as she told the defense, to get rid of the box because she didn't want to have him get in trouble for having drugs in the house. But prosecutors believe something else entirely. They believe that Hernandez's request to get rid of the box was far more sinister because they believe it contained the murder weapon. And the prosecution is going to end its case with Alexander Bradley, somebody with whom used to run with Aaron Hernandez, who Aaron Hernandez actually was accused of shooting once. And so that will put in the jury's mind that here is somebody who likes to play with guns, who could have access to guns, who could have guns in the house. And they would like the jury to believe that in that box there was not only a gun, but the gun, the murder weapon used in the Odin Lloyd case.
But with no murder weapon, it seems circumstantial. You know, I've read about the shell casings with gum on it. What have we heard about that? I mean, largely the prosecution's case has been circumstantial, correct?
In our CSI law and order world, we often want the smoking gun, and prosecutors know that, and juries often demand it. But in this case, it just isn't there. The murder weapon has not been found, so there's no fingerprints on the gun. The best they can do is what they tried to do today, to say records suggest where Aaron Hernandez was. He's told people some things. He's told other people different things. He had his fiancée get rid of a box. We don't know what was in it, but why was he doing it? To try to get the jury to believe that this is someone with something to hide. The prosecution is expected to wrap up its case in the next couple of days. We're told the defense may not put much of a case on at all, clearly believing that the jury is going to have more than enough reasonable doubt to find Aaron Hernandez not guilty.
Okay, ABC's Aaron Katersky, thank you so much for joining us. And you can keep up with this story in real time by downloading the ABC News app, storing this story for exclusive updates on the go. I'm Carolyn Costello in New York.